2021, March. Such a vivid memory. A landmark moment for me. Right before the end of quarantine. Right before the first vaccine shot. Nothing mattered more than to step foot outside of my mom's Georgia home. I began to dedicate a lot of my free time to just roaming and scrolling around Google Maps. I was looking at Google Maps, trying to remember what the outside world looked like, when I had the urge to look up a place I'd been many times. My grandmother's house. I searched it up, zoomed in, and began looking around the neighborhood. After maybe 20 minutes of scrolling and clicking, I decided to broaden my search and look around the city of El Cerrito. As it neared an hour of searching around the Bay Area, I finally reached the Bay Bridge. As I was making my way down the Bay Bridge, I found an interesting exit I had never seen before. It read Yerba Buena Island and Treasure Island. I got it. At the outskirts of San Francisco, Treasure Island is a peculiar example of this phenomenon we call gentrification. Since this island is in the middle of such an already changing area, housing market and all, it has seen an influx of poorer residences since its opening to the public in the mid-90s. However, that movement seems to have halted after the redevelopment of Treasure Island changed hands. Now, with more demand for the island scenery, pristine beaches, and the well-known winery down in the major part of the island, more condos are being put as listings. Not many have thought to actually considered why there's such a large catalog of things to do on the island and how the history of the island has helped shape this. In the early 30s, the island of Yerba Buena sat by itself in the middle of the bay. The shoals protruding from Yerba Buena posed a risk for cargo ships and boats, especially in the seldom lit bay. It came to the attention of San Francisco city planners and architects to come up with a proper way to fix it. Within a year of building, a new structure would form from the island. Many believe that this new structure was built from trash and rubble. Although materials were partially reused, most of the island is concrete and rock. The island was opened to celebrate the building and unveiling of the two bridges in the bay, the Bay Bridge and the Golden Gate Bridge. And so the Golden Gate Expo began. The takeaway of the expo was the architecture on the island, showing off a lot of architectural styles that hadn't been seen in the Western world. The island sported a working locomotive, a botanical garden, and had numerous attractions. It lasted a year before being torn down. A lot of the main buildings were kept for military operations during World War II. In the years after military operations, the island went through a long period of renovation. The city again took control of it in the 90s and attempted to make it another resident area for San Francisco. An identity was built for the island through the food markets, fire department training academy, sailing co-op, and the island's historical museum. However, what brings the most attention is actually Treasure Fest, a monthly market festival that showcases many small businesses.
Fest is a shopping, eating, and entertainment market. We are a unique Bay Area festival that features the best of the Bay. Treasure Fest has evolved over the 8 years of existence. You go to Treasure Fest, you're not buying a widget, you're not just buying a product, you're buying the person, you're buying the story that is behind it.
Hey Gio, call me if you get a chance, if you're still awake. Sorry to call you so late. Anyway, talk to you later.
Sure.
Let's go back one more time.
Yeah.
We can get out here, get some shots of this side, and I guess we should head back and then get that one up there when we leave.
Yeah, I also want to...
I'm going to come back around for this too, I think.
You can turn into here. Just keep going. Shoot, although this person's gonna be right in the shot.
I kind of wanted to get the water. I was driving along the water too, but that's fine. Let's get this one. Look at these crazy things.
Yeah, go ahead. Keep moving. I'm gonna... These roads are so... I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
What are they doing?
I gotta film that.
You can get it through me. Oh, get this thing. Restricted area, that's the same.
Residents.
What is this area? Oh, shoot. We might go out there.
Okay, I've never seen this part.
Oh, shoot, it's getting... Whoa! What the hell? Oh, I went in a big ass boat. The beach shot. Right into the bridge, dude. Shit. That's cool.
It was discovered early on that the remnants from nuclear exercises and trainings were still prominent on the island. It was found to be in the old World's Fair buildings, and it was ignored for a while. However, now with its peaking tourism, the city has made efforts to clean the soil. Not much has surfaced about these efforts. In fact, most articles that covered it actually are harder to find due to the many condos being put up for sale.
We came for it from up here.
Well, I didn't really get into film. I just kind of grew up around a camera in my, always around and always watching my dad's films. And even though my dad didn't push me in that direction, I feel like being from New York and being in the setting of the city really invites a lot of the qualities of a filmmaker. And maybe that's why I'm not a traditional filmmaker, because I don't prepare for a lot of that stuff because I'm used to it just being there. Like gentrification and stuff, and that's probably why it's so rooted, deeply ingrained in what I want to cover. Hey Dad, I just was calling to see if you could maybe send over those photos and videos that you took on Treasure Island. Alright, love you, bye. You hear what I said?
Oh, which neighborhood defines my experience the most?
Or home, yeah, exactly.
I would say the Harlem or slash Washington Heights experience, because that was the longest one for me. Almost, not quite 20 years, but more than 15 years. The longest, and also the most recent. So in my head, it's like the most recent. I mean, when I lived downtown in the East Village, that was the first kind of the first longest place, which was like 7 years. That was a big chunk, but then compared to 7 years compared to 15, it's like double. So
that's true.
I guess it's, and also, a lot happened in that time.
That's true.
Having you and the festival, and a lot has happened in that space of time. So
Yeah,
I would say. I guess I've experienced gentrification in a couple different neighborhoods since I've been in New York, which is like 30 years now. The first one was down in Alphabet City, and it changed a lot. When I was there, it was already changing from when it was like a Puerto Rican community, still pretty much like half and half, or maybe not even half. Actually, it was less than that, like less. It wasn't that many. It started to become gentrified like recently. Are we gonna?
Yeah, this is gonna be enough stuff. Yeah. Yes.
You could get that shot over there.
Oh, I was thinking about that one, but.
They blocked my view. They're just blocking the whole thing. You could see everything before, all the way to the Bronx. Now it's blocked right there.
Shoot. Yeah.
I was in New York as a student, so I was renting that place for like $300 a month, and I remember I didn't move to a studio because it was $500, and I was like, why would I pay $500? I'm only paying I think it was $350. So when I left that place, the price had gone up in the neighborhood from $500 for a studio to probably like $1,500. So basically like tripled in those 7 years. I briefly was in Brooklyn, which was an area that was kind of had changed a lot and was gentrified, but that was only for a year or so. And then obviously when I lived in Harlem, that changed a lot in those years, and the prices went up, way up, and then now obviously in the Heights, it's like kind of like the last place left in Manhattan, just because it's way up at the top.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
But now that I've been up here, I like it because it's away from the craziness of downtown, but you can still get downtown if you want to, but it's more of a neighborhood, and even though it's still the city, it's more of there's a lot of parks and green areas and stuff. So I think other people like that probably too. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it except for that, really. Well, it's interesting that this is the upper Manhattan is the older part of Manhattan, and it's the first part of Manhattan, and then the downtown is like the newer part. But in terms of gentrification, it went the other way around. So up here was just like, in the old days, it was just like farm areas and stuff.
Yeah.
That's why we have that little farmhouse still.
That's right.
And then, so I guess, yeah, downtown was the center. So people only the rich people had places up here back then, I think. They had like big plots of land and stuff.
That makes sense.
So they would come up here for their winter home or their summer home. I forget, something like that. Like they would escape to come up here. Well, I guess the tragedy of it is that, well, first of all, that out and they get basically in a way kicked out, maybe not directly kicked out, obviously, but priced out, which is effectively kicked out because they can't afford it. And people that have been living in the neighborhood for one or two or maybe more generations, even that's a tragedy because they have their family, their memories here or in whatever area they're living. And then the other sad part of it is that the government or whoever, the authorities, whoever's in charge, can't figure a way to do it in a more balanced way where, for example, like I said, that people could stay in the area, but then if you want to have new people come in, that's fine, but not like totally replace the people that were there before. And also, it seems like the only time that some areas that are lower class economically speaking, the only way they can get services is if they get gentrified, and that's kind of a tragedy too, that they don't increase the life, the quality of life for those places unless their light become valuable to because of the space and because of the potential for making money off of them. Then all of a sudden now they start to have services
Yeah.
and stores and other things that they need. So